Alright guys, so I wanted to take you on an updated studio tour, and I had shot this video before and I was very happy with it, except I shot it in a vertical mode. And if you've done Premiere Pro and you've tried to flip a vertical picture, it zooms everything and then you can't see anything. So alright, so this is the reshoot, take 2. Alright, so if you've seen my other video, you know that I had combined my production area with my art area. Well, that wasn't working. So I took all of the production stuff, the order making or filling, boxing and packaging stuff, to the front of the house, you know. And this is just for creating art, this area. And the reason why I did that is I needed some separation from that road out there. It's very noisy. And just a place to go, you know, squirrel away and create. This space also allowed me to put in my antique drafting table, which is actually my husband's, but I took it over. He didn't have space for it, so I took it. And which is really cool. Look at that old back. Anyway, so I have my computer for reference and whatnot on a cart next to the drafting table. A neat little arm that I can put my iPad mini on for reference drawing. This is the piece I'm working on currently. I have above all of my favorite art books, like all of the James Gurney, well, not all of them, but several of the James Gurney books. This book, Scientific Illustration, that I've had since I was a kid. And this one by, I think, William Stout, one of my favorite artists from the 70s. Fabulous graphic artist, pen and ink work. And then, you know, some of the items from my dad's lab. He was a PhD zoologist, so it was always fun as a kid to go into his lab because he had all these cool things. Sorry, my floor is squeaky. And then the lighting for drawing on the desk. That's a comic book I'm working on. And then my super cards. So because I lost some of the drawers that I had for my art, I had to put everything in these carts. So here I just labeled it with masking tape, and you can see what they are on the front. I crafted some boxes and put all of my drawing supplies in this cart. Now this particular cart is from Sutherland's. I think there's a version of it at Home Depot. Just know it's solid wood, and when you get it, it has really crappy wheels. So I actually flipped it over and put new wheels on it. So these wheels are better. They're not perfect, but they're definitely better than what was there. And the fun thing about this cart, if you need more space, that comes out. So if you have a big painting project you're working on, you can extend for, you know, all of your palette and all the goodies that go along with painting. In the drawers, we have the drawing drawers. That's my Iwata spray gun, more drawing supplies, the repeatograph set that I got when I was a kid, but I don't use it anymore because they're a pain in the butt. You have to clean them every time you use them. So now I just do the microns or Copic, potato, I don't know. You tell me. My watercolor sets, that should actually be on the set. I have to keep it covered if it's out because it gets full of cat hair. Casing, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm going to. Thanks, James Gurney. I watched his video on casing painting. It looked cool, so I bought some. Stencils, all the stencils. A cheap set of, what is that? Watercolor. Oh, and a bag of Prismacolor pencils. And there's Apollo. These are projects that I'm working on. Sometimes there's transfers and no helping. Overflow from my inks. Acrylic gouache and a cheap gouache set. No helping. And then here I have this. I actually had to fix this drawer because it doesn't close properly. And right now it was better. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, but it's wood. I mean, it's easy to fix. And this is just this is my Stay Wet palette paper and more palettes. I'll fix it in a minute. For filming overhead, I use this guy, which is by Logitech. This is for creators. You can put it down. It goes way out. Look how far out it does. It's huge. You can also tilt it. And then it moves up and down. So this thing's really awesome. I love it. I use it for all of my process videos. My wireless mouse for getting my computer going when I'm painting. And then I'll move that guy out of the way. I've attached a pegboard to the side of that. Hang all of my extras on, like as you can see there, my rulers and stuff. So what I did here, so before I had those IKEA shelves here, to try and give myself separation from, that guy, which is the combo washer dryer. So what I did, since I got the production out of here, I took my $40 Target shelves and made myself a wall. I didn't have any shelving on this side, so I flipped this around so I'd have a place to put laundry stuff. Right now it's just clothes because we're too lazy to go upstairs and change. It's terrible of us. I know, but stairs and being 50. But so when you're 50 and you have stairs in your house, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, so it still gives me a lot of storage for paint supplies. Up here at the top, we have all our mediums, our workable fixatives, our spray varnishes, gesso, matte medium. I've attached this to the back of the bookshelf, which is great. These are the things you use at Comic-Con and stuff, to Artist Alley kind of thing, and it works. But it's kind of boring, so I'm thinking about either like wallpapering it or painting it or something like that. Probably wallpaper, because I'm afraid if I paint it, I don't know. This stuff's pretty cheap, so actually, these, if you look at where these shelves were created, they're from Italy. So, ooh la la. Anyway, so here we have our IKEA. These are really heavy duty IKEA magazine holders, but they're so heavy duty I put paint on them. Extra paint. This is extra paint. Cool cloth that I've got at a thrift store. Projects. These are painting panels. More panels. My really good paper in Duralar. And then some of my mixed media paper. My good sketchbooks. These are my palettes. And then more paper. Lots of paper. I think for artists, trying to find a place for the things that you paint on is the worst. But these shelves move up and down, so it let me put those tall sketchbooks and paper pads down there. This is extra. Well, I use this for display in my booth at Relic in Springfield. That's Springfield, Missouri. And then got some canvas, some art, my drawing board, and then over here. Okay, so I got this really nice easel for Christmas one year, but easels take up a lot of space. And as you can see from the studio, there's not a lot of space. So what I did was I put a cleat on the wall and I attached it directly to that. It actually can fold out a little bit, but I don't. I just paint with it the way it is. And it also acts as a photography spot. So it can hold any art that I'm wanting to photograph for me. And then you can see here I've got my photography stuff set up on my desk over here as I just did a shop launch. So if you want to check that out, head over to heathermhart.com and you can see my fall shop launch. But yeah, that door is still not fixed. But I've changed the covering. Anyway, the last little section where I spend all of my time, you can see my photography setup. This table, guys, is awful, but it's awesome. Put that down. So this is actually a closet door. It's one of the hollow core closet doors for your extra tall sliding closet door. And we didn't use it as a closet door. So it makes a great desk because it's desk width, not like a standard door. It's narrower, which worked perfect for this space. And you see my cat loves it. And the reason why I love this spot, this is one of the spots that I changed, is I can look out the window and see my zinnias. Oh, now I can't zoom. Anyway, so yeah, I can just take a break, look out the window at all of my zinnias. I have hydrangeas out the other window. Anyway, so yeah, I need to cover the top, but we'll get to it. So we have an office drawer, just filming stuff, little tools. Sometimes I can't get the tubes open on my oil colors. They just stick really hard and I can't get them open. My blow dryer, because I do a lot of watercolor. So I've labeled these drawers. This is my acrylic drawer. Another acrylic drawer. There's my Stay Wet palette. I love these things. Acrylics dry so fast. Pencils, blending stumps. If you have blending stumps, you probably have a lot of sandpaper around to clean them. I forgot what's down here. Oh, just extras. I think that's Velcro. Extra stuff. Because I set up the filming area while I was taking product photos, I had to take that off the desk, and now it's in the floor. But if you're old, you need a magnifier because faces are tiny. And I think when I was taking Scott Fisher's character class, he was like, I don't do faces unless they're, bigger than a 25-cent piece. I totally get him because, tiny faces are awful. Anyway, so I used to have my inks under there, but I can't reach them. So now it's just my hairdryer and the remnants of my inks being on the side of that. Just wasn't working, so I moved it. This space actually can have 3 desk easels on it. I love it because it lets me spread out if I want. And then on this end, these Alex units, desk stands with the drawers in them, make great height for me because I'm short. And then I took I think there's a $25 bookshelves at Target. And I've had these several years. So this is way before Target, did all their crappy political stuff they just did. So don't hate me for that. Anyway, so now I have a space that's within arm's reach of my brushes, my watercolor pencils, just standard. These are the very thin Prismacolor pencils. I don't know why I have a bunch of Crayola pencils, but I do. Things that I don't use as often, like Q-tips and things. And I love to collect mason jars with the old lids. And then on top, for reference, if I need a skull reference, there it is. And then some more of my dad's lab stuff. I had to do a lot of research, and I finally found out that this is a kangaroo. So I wrote it on it. Where you can actually see it. Kangaroo. And then the reason why I put this up on top of this desk unit is so I could have access to these pencil drawers, which are some of my favorite things. I used to do a lot of colored pencil, which I'm doing more of it than I have been. And these are nice for organizing all your pencil colors. And then I labeled them. I also have my soft graphite pencils and hard graphite, as well as watercolor, which is empty because they're in the tin now. My color erase pencils, which I've been using more and more. I did not use color erase in college, but apparently they're great for just sketching out, like using the reds. And so I've started doing that. I really like it. And then polychromos pencils. So that's that area. And you can see it's so easy. It's within arm's reach. And then in order to use all of my things, have them within arm's reach, because I lost some of the storage that I had in here before, I decked out this cart. So this is the Michaels cart. And I've put everything that I use the most on top. And so that would be watercolor and gouache. I mean, it's all in there. My Kuretake pens, my Copics. I don't use those as much, but sometimes I use the Poscas and Sharpies. Which Sharpies got a new line. I think they're acrylic out that I've been wanting to play with. And then on the side, I took basically a spice rack and put a spice rack on the side of the pegboard. And that I need to add that one that's under there. I need to add it because I've run out of room. And if you guys know, I use a lot of acrylic inks. Acrylic inks are great because you get a lot of pigment and you can really stretch it. And if you're good at it, you can add your tube colors in to make your paint go even further. So yeah, it's kind of a cheapskate way of painting. So this is my drawing set. Like, I'll take this out and take it to the living room and sit on the couch and watch football. Under here I have all of my oil painting stuff. Those are the tubes that I can't open, and I have to use a freaking pliers to get them open sometimes, especially this one's rough. And if you oil paint, you can make yourself a palette out of glass and foam core and then tape the edges really well. And to clean it, that palette, just use wet wipes. Make sure it's got the oil in it. Yeah, wet wipes. They will clean your palette so well. And then I keep gloves down here for when I'm oil painting. This is a trash bag for your car, made by a friend of mine, So Sherry, from Seattle. I met her at a Comic-Con one year, and she makes these little bags, and these are lined. They're waterproof. So I use them to put my discarded paper towels in. Again, because I'm old, I have a really nice set of jeweler's magnifying glasses, my oil painting brushes, again the Posca markers, the brushes that I use the most. Now you can see the cart better, and then containers, and my oil painting brush cleaner down there. And there's really not much in those drawers because I've got everything in this. I don't really use those. I think I've got some old spray paint or airbrush paint. One of those drawers is even empty. And then just some office supplies in that one. Yeah, I mean, so that's my art space, guys. Oh, and down here we have the compressor for my spray gun. But yeah, that's my spot. I really like it. I can kind of put my headphones on and zone out. Look at the butterflies when I want to take a break. And just be away from that stupid street. Anyway, there we go. I'll take you up front and we'll look at the production area. And you can see what I've done, changed after being here for a year. Anyway, let's go. Hi guys, welcome to the front of my house. I thought I'd walk you around the production area where I moved all the packaging and preparation for shipping orders out to the front of the house. I've showed you the art studio, so let's take a walk around and I'll show you how I organized the parlor portion of this 1890s house. Anyway, let's go. All right, guys, so welcome to the parlor. As you walk into this old Victorian home, you see this area that used to greet visitors to the house. I have installed my workbench here and placed some shelving over it to hold all my envelopes. If you've been to my shop, you know I make letter writing sets with wax seals, and this is where I make them. I'm still working on storage. Boxes take up a lot of space, so right now they're sitting there next to my wrapping paper. I have storage underneath, but this is about to change as this shelf area right here, I'm going to have to move it down so I can install this guy. This is a paper organizer for a classroom, so I'll be moving that here as soon as it arrives. So that means I'll have to figure out what to do with the mailing portion of the business. Up here we have our labels and whatnot that we put on our packages when we're shipping. Current pieces that I need to frame, as they will be going to my booth down at Relic in Springfield this weekend, and I'm going to take you guys along so you can see how I set up that booth. My shop update board, which I just finished, so you can head on over to heathermhart.com and see that. My big shelf that holds all of my envelopes, but honestly it needs to be better organized. I need to hang the whiteboard on the wall, but I'm out of command strips that have the Velcro on the back, which is what that board has. Moving over to the only spot I can find for my scale. I need another table, so we're still working on that. Now this shelf is from Target. I think they're about 40 bucks. It needs some organization, but the paper organizer is about to solve a lot of that because I've been using these boxes that I get from Red River Paper when I order greeting cards. And then I cut the side out and use them as paper holders. So soon I'll have a 24 slot organizer for the paper, and some of the things that I need to move out from under the work table will move over here. And then we have extra frames. This unit has all my labeling. I use these labels for my booth at Relic, which has my number so that they can appropriately apply the things that I sell to my vendor number. And then my heat press. Now, this cart my husband and I built out of a wooden dinner tray. It had a really nice top, solid wood top. And so we had some really nice heavy-duty wheels and some extra lumber. And we built this really heavy-duty cart. And on the bottom there, I have my book press and then all of my heat press items. So that's really nice because I can pull it out and bring it around. That is to help quiet the street, although I used to have it over both windows, but it just was like a cave and I hated it, so I took them off. This table area is about to change. I'm going to put an actual desk here. The problem is these old folding tables, while they're very useful in a pop-up situation, this table is not flat. And so when I make my wax seals for my letter sets, I have to do it on the edge or the wax runs down and it just doesn't work well. My container holding all of my 5x7s and the backing cards for my die cuts. My wonderful old Epson Workforce. The reason why I keep it is it has a giant scanner. It's 11x17. The printer part does not work. It's completely dried up and hasn't worked in years. But that scanner is awesome. My Alex units from IKEA. You know, my wax melt supplies. My wax melts are self-adhesive, so here are all the double-sided adhesives for it. All of the, what do you call them, seals. And then two types of, two colors for these wax melts. Nothing really exciting in these drawers, just some templates and all of my tape. More tape. I thought at one point I wanted to do charms, but at some point you have to decide, am I an artist or a production warehouse? I don't know. Scrapbooking supplies. Nice organizer that's heavy duty that holds all of the mediums that I use in my art, as well as the glues. My stickers. These are my new sticker sheets. These are 4.25 by 6.5 stickers that are heading to Relic this weekend. Now I did find out if you put vinyl on top of vinyl and you pull it a little bit, it stretches it, and then when it snaps back, it curls. So I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with those and just redo those. I may have a sell in my shop. Watercolor supplies. I seem to do a lot of watercolor. And then these are all my extra Cricut mats because I cut my own stickers. all the bags. Lots of bags. 5x7 bags, 8x10 bags are in the next one, and then 4x6 bags for my stickers, because you have to package everything that you put in a booth. And then I end up putting my letter sets in these 8x10 bags for storage, and it keeps them protected when they're shipping. And then that is a bin of, or a drawer of finished art. Moving on, the most awesome IKEA shelving. These are the garage storage shelves, so they can hold more weight, and you can add additional shelves, which is what I did over there. So these are my show bins. These are actually cloth, and you can see they collapse down. These are for comic book storage. So if you have nice comics and you don't want them to get wet, these are actually waterproof. But I like them because they hold all my show stuff. I keep my 8x10s and my 11x14s in them. They fit just fine. Up to 11x17 fits in there as well. Moving on, this is my paper / product shelf. These are sublimation blank journals. This is my Red River paper stack for greeting cards. These are the executive size, which is 7x10, 70-pound paper. But I haven't figured out what to do with it yet. I think I'm going to make some mini notebooks, like blank notebooks, using the greeting cards as a cover. My paper sorter. These things are expensive, which is why I went with the classroom one, because I think the classroom one is actually covered in a PVC covered cardboard, which makes it a little more accessible. Above we have our photography stuff. This is vinyl covering for your desk. Extra backing boards for 11x14s. And then I have the printers. Don't want to step on my cat. Say hi, cutie. That's Apollo. All right, so I am a huge fan of Epson. And the reason I love Epson so much, first of all, they make the 6 colors. Gray, they added gray to their Eco Tank. This is my sublimation printer. The deal about Epson is they treat the ink, they get the ink onto the paper differently than anybody else. They use a static charge that does not heat the ink. Inkjets work by exploding the ink onto the paper, and Epson uses an electric charge to get that ink over to your paper, whereas Canon heats the ink. And I've had, I don't know how many people tell me they can't believe the color on my art. It looks exactly like the art that I painted. How do I get that? And it's because of the Epson and the method that they use to get ink onto the paper. It doesn't heat it, so it has no chance to change the color of the ink through heating. And so now you can compensate for that in the Canon software. That's no problem, but I don't have to do that. What I take picture-wise, I can, if I have a professional do it, like Bellevue Fine Arts or somebody to take the pictures, I can pretty much just print what they shot. But anyway, enough about Epson. So my sublimation printer, this is my regular printer that does 11x17 for both of these. No, 13x19. Yeah, 13x19 for these two. This is my Epson Fine Art printer. This is the P900. It has This one's nice. Well, I say that, the cat has walked on it. It has that many cartridges, and they are huge. And I love this printer. Oh, I know why, because the door was shut. It also has the ability to add a roll attachment. And if you've ever done roll paper, you'll find that it is cheaper to buy than pre-cut paper. So I'll have a roll of canvas, a roll of fine art paper, and then I can load that in there and get ready for a show or a convention. So I also have Epson's smaller six color Eco Tank. I use this one for greeting cards. And then I have two cutting machines, the original Explorer Air 2, and then my favorite, the Maker 3. If you can get the Maker 3, get it. It is worth it. It's fast. I think the cuts are more precise, and it can cut without a mat, as well as it can cut the 24-inch mat. So, yeah. That was the best. I used that one the most. And then, because this is an odd-shaped room, I ended up putting my desk in the middle, which is kind of nice because I can see the TV when I'm working late, and I can get over to the work table as well as the printers if they have trouble pretty quickly. So, yeah, that's the tour. Oh, and I want to just say this. Don't buy that. They have different kinds of guillotine cutters, and I think I bought the wrong one for just paper. I think that's a booklet. The blades are different, and I didn't know that when I bought it. So if you're going to buy one of these giant printer cutters, and they are heavy, make sure you get one for the use that you're trying to do. That thing cuts booklets great, but it's not great at cutting just paper that you're going to put perfect bind in a book. Anyway, that's my space, and I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned and we'll get some more videos up. Have a great day.